So today we're starting the assembly process as we're building our Layens insulated hives. When we left you yesterday or on the previous video, we had cut all of our pieces and we had labeled them according to the plans we downloaded for free on Dr. Leo's website, horizontalhive.com. And today we're starting the assembly process. So we've got our instructions here. Everything's labeled, so hopefully this is going to go real smoothly.
So we turn the H's up and then put the G's in.
Okay.
And we're going to put the, what's the next one? What piece?
B. We need the B, which is, looks like the bottom.
Does it say to glue it?
It doesn't go on here. It just is on the inside.
Just on the inside.
Yeah.
Alright. Does it say to glue it in the instructions?
It does not say right here, but I think earlier it said everything should be glued and screwed.
Or glued and stapled or something?
Something like that.
Alright.
It just says attach it. Attach B to the GH frame.
I just want to put a staple right through that joint. I don't think it would ever go anywhere, but what the heck. This comes to the inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Flip it over and fill it with insulation. Turn the heat on.
When we went to Dr. Leo's seminar, when he talked about using wool inside, said do not overstuff it.
And we actually did get our wool from Dr. Leo when we were out in Missouri in October. So this is 100% natural wool, straight from the sheep.
It smelled like sheep.
It does kind of smell like sheep. Do we need more?
There's a, well, not a lot more, a little more. There you go. Where Dr. Leo lives, I think he felt like there was a good Amish presence out there, and they raise sheep. And there's not a big U.S. market for this stuff, as you would think. So out there, the price is not too high for this, for the wool. But around us, it's kind of hard to find.
So now we need an M on top of this.
And we'll glue the M down.
Yep.
And
And
it
the
said
M comes to the edges.
Yeah. And you don't want to get the wool in the, I think I want my other glue bottle in just a moment.
Sure.
You want to go ahead and get ready for me. This.
Yeah, our glue bot's a little hard to use sometimes.
Well, you can get a
Some
really,
applications.
you can get a really good controlled low amount of glue out of it. This is just faster. make sure we get all that wool where it's not going to be in the joint.
So we don't want any gaps, right?
So this is part M.
And it lines up on the outside.
so. You don't have to worry about that. So part P is supposed to be this long. Well, I took part P, and I just was one of the leftover pieces of 2x4 that we had left, and I just cut it, and then I cut that much off of part P. So what I'm going to do is put P in here, and I'm going to put this 2x4 in here. Dr. Leo offers it as an option on these. If you buy them from him, they come with 3 openings, but in areas where you have a lot of days over 90 degrees, there's an option to put a fourth opening up here. So that's what I'm going to do. Is
for ventilation.
I'm going to put a 4th opening up here. So I'm putting I might not do it to start with, probably won't, but if I ever decide to come in and drill a hole, I'll already have this in here. And that's the purpose of E, is so that you can bore your hole here. This
for the entrance.
For the entrance. This all have insulation. This will have insulation. But the outside piece goes over this whole panel. So that's the purpose of E, is so you can drill your hole through it. Well, I'm putting another one right there, just so I can come back and add that if I decide to. The end.
Fill one end with insulation, align L with RS and M.
Okay.
The top of L must be flush with the top surface of S.
We were working along and we got to this end and we were putting the wool in and we got an Amber Alert
On our phone.
on our phones. Did you know that if you get an Amber Alert, your phone will quit videoing? We did not know that, but Shirley was fixing lunch, and you know, just a little bit later she said, well, it's time to go to lunch. I said, okay. So what we got done,
That's when we found out that we had stopped recording.
yeah,
when
that's
I
when
went
we
to stop
found
the
out
recording.
we had quit recording. So what we did, we put the wool in and stapled this end on, and then we did the other end. So
And we did the front, or the
and
back.
The back. So we turned it up on the end, put the wool in, put the wool in, and then stapled this side on. We drew a line here so that to make sure that we can staple where that support is in there, and then just stapled around the end and got the back on. So what you missed is stapling that end on, putting the wool in, stapling this end on, putting the wool in, stapling the back on. So now we had a nice delicious lunch, and we're ready to do the front here. So now we have a box.
A box in a box.
Yep, so we have an insulated box here. And this is going to be the front. So we get Shirley to measure over from each end to locate our holes. And there's one in the center, and then it gives you a measure up from the bottom. So I'm going to let her start doing that layout work. So this is a protractor angle thing here. And what I want to do is, Shirley's going to hold this up, and I'm going to set my drill on an angle. This is we use 15 degrees. That's what it had said in the other style build when we built it last year. So she's going to hold that up there, and I'm going to get started with this Forstner bit. Forstner bit. All right, now I'm going to try to get my angle down to 15 degrees. Okay, we got our 3 holes drilled on the 15-degree angle. Then we're going to come back and staple around each hole. And I'm going to do the same thing on the inside.
It just shows it on the outside. But...
I'm going to do the same thing on the inside.
Oh yeah, you do it on the inside too. You're correct. So now the box is done. The box is ready.
Yep.
So we got our box finished, and well, the initial build. We haven't painted it or anything, but now we are starting on the lid or the top. And so this is which piece is this?
Part U.
Part U, and it gets some ventilation holes drilled in it, again with the Forstner bit, and at a 15-degree angle so that water doesn't get into the hive. So there are 4, 2 on each side of this part. So that one's done.
So when we were building the W parts, we went ahead and put the rabbets on them. That's the part right here. So now what we're going to do is attach the W to the U. And I got to make sure I do that the right way. Yep, it goes like that. And that one's going to go there.
This side out of the way.
So we'll put the paper back down because we're going to get gluing again.
This one is backwards.
No, this one is right.
No?
No, it's upside down.
Oh, is it upside down? There you go. I knew the holes were going the wrong way. Yeah. Okay. It's important to get the orientation right so that water is repelled from the hive, not being introduced into the hive.
Our glue has been sitting there so long it don't want to settle all down to the bottom.
Do you want me to go get the big glue?
Yeah, this will work. It's just these corners. We can rub that in.
maybe some on the side.
Yeah, just a little bit. Nothing major.
I don't have enough glue to do that.
It'll be alright. Okay. So, how does it say fasten these? Oh, you have it. These ones get screwed or do?
Square, pre-drill, and attach with glue, and 1 5/8 inch screw. 1 5/8 inch screws, 2 per corner.
Here's your square. Let's work on this one. That's pretty good.
There are screws.
And you may wonder, you know, by using the plywood up, this spot right here, if you wanted to stiffen it up on the inside of the lid, you could, but this is going to be the top. It's going to have a metal cover over it, so it really don't matter. If you wanted to come back in here and staple you a couple of little strips right along this seam, you could. So which spacers did it say to put in next? I mean, which piece?
I don't know. I need to get instructions again. The hive lid is supported in the propped up position by 4 slats F and T attached to the inside of the lid. Pre-drill 5 holes in F, 3 holes in T.
Okay.
And we use our spacer. Put the lid upside down.
Which ones go first? Well, I'll tell you right quick. Do these go all the way? Yep, these go all the way. Okay. So they're just gonna go in here like this. And that's,
Okay.
yeah. So the lid sits on and this is airspace.
Oh, okay. I was not understanding.
Now the other thing we need to do is the holes that came in, the ventilation holes, we'll put screen wire on the inside of them. It said insect wire, but we like to paint up in the hole. If you watch some of Shirley's videos building the other laying hives, she did the best she could with a sponge brush, and then she actually took a Q-tip and painted up in here. After we get these painted, these ventilation holes painted, then we'll put the stapled wire on these 4 holes here. So that's pretty much the build on the lid. We'll check right quick and make sure it fits on the box. If it don't, we got an issue.
And then we'll need to put the
Metal.
metal on the top. I was going to get some of this glue off the inside.
We'll do that in just a minute. So we have our hive sitting here. And it fits.
Perfect.